What if one sentence before she closes her eyes could turn you from just another message into the memory she wakes up smiling for? Not some try-hard paragraph or cheesy poem. A single, clean line that leaves a small crack in her night where your name slips in and never quite leaves. Most men sleepwalk through texts. They send bland echoes and expect fireworks. You're about to learn 6 lines that work like a key. Quiet, sharp, impossible to ignore. Use them right, and she'll spend the night rewinding the moment she read you. Stay with me. This is the difference between being forgotten and being the thought that keeps her awake. This is behavior insight. We strip the noise and teach the simple moves that actually shift attention. Tonight, 6 goodnight messages that do more than close the day. They open curiosity. Read them, use them, tweak them to your voice. Don't be predictable. Message 1. Good night. I'll try not to show up in your dreams. No promises. Picture this. She's lying in bed, lights off, phone in her hand, scrolling one last time before she sets it down. By this point, her guard's a little lower, her mind already drifting between the day she just lived and the quiet unknown of sleep. And there, in that in-between moment, she sees your text. Not the same boring sweet dreams or sleep tight that every guy sends, but a playful little hook. Good night. I'll try not to show up in your dreams. No promises. It works because it plays with curiosity. You're planting an idea in her mind without forcing anything. The no promises part is where the magic happens. It's cheeky, it's confident, and it's got just enough mystery that she'll run with it in her head. Women don't forget lines like that. Why? Because they're not lines, they're seeds. And women, more than men, live in their imagination. If you can sneak into her thoughts before she closes her eyes, you're already ahead of 99% of guys. Here's the mistake most men make. They send messages with no strategy, no flavor. Good night, babe, or sleep well. Safe words, empty words. They land with no weight, no impact. But when you give her something that teases her imagination, you give her something to hold on to in the silence. That's why this line lingers. There's also a hidden confidence inside it. You're not begging for attention. You're not asking for reassurance. You're calmly saying, I know I could be in your dreams, and I'm okay with that. That's different energy than the usual desperate texts she gets, and she feels the difference. Now let's be real. Not every woman will reply with a flirty comeback. Some might just laugh or roll their eyes or say, LOL. But here's the thing. Even if she rolls her eyes, she's still thinking about you. You win either way. Because the goal isn't to be liked by everyone. The goal is to stand out. The men who stand out are remembered. So use this message wisely. Don't send it every night. Don't make it a routine. Drop it at the right moment. Maybe after a fun conversation. Maybe when you feel the timing's warm. Think of it like tossing a spark into the dark. Sometimes that spark catches fire. Sometimes it doesn't. But it's always better than sending cold ashes. Message 2. Rest well. Don't smile too much tomorrow thinking about me. This one's pure confidence dressed as play, and confidence is attractive in a way words can't fully explain. When you say, rest well, don't smile too much tomorrow thinking about me, you're not asking her to think of you, you're assuming she will. And that assumption, that quiet certainty, is magnetic. Let me paint it out. She gets this text right before bed. She laughs. Maybe she smirks. Maybe she even says out loud, "What the hell?" But she smiles. And tomorrow morning, when she does actually smile thinking about you, she'll remember your text. You're in her head before she even realized it. That's the win. See, most men are terrified of being bold. They want to play it safe, to avoid being called cocky or arrogant. But here's the truth. Women are not drawn to safe. They're drawn to men who know their worth and aren't afraid to show it. The trick is in the delivery. Cocky says, "You owe me attention." Confident says, "I'm worth it whether you give me attention or not." And this text drips with confidence, not arrogance. It's short, it's sharp, and it feels effortless. You're not trying to impress her with a poem. You're not trying to convince her of your value. You're simply sliding the thought in, "You'll think about me tomorrow, and I know it." That kind of calm self-belief is rare, and rare is what she remembers. Of course, some men will panic. What if she doesn't respond? But that's the point. You're not fishing for validation, you're setting the tone. If she smiles, if she thinks about you, the job's already done. And here's the thing, attraction isn't built by forcing constant replies. It's built in the quiet spaces where her mind loops back to you. So when do you use this one? After a fun chat, maybe after you teased her a little. It pairs well with a day where you already built some spark. You don't send it out of the blue on day one. Think of it as adding gasoline to a flame that's already lit. Done right, this message has a ripple effect. She'll laugh at night, she'll think in the morning, and maybe she'll even text you something flirty midday. But even if she doesn't, she'll remember the way you made her feel, amused, curious, and drawn to you. And that's better than any safe goodnight text she's ever gotten. Message 3. Good night. Hope your pillow isn't jealous I'm not there. Picture her. She's tucked under the covers, scrolling half-heartedly, ready to shut her eyes. Then this text lights up her screen. It's not needy, it's not boring, it's playful, almost silly, but it sneaks in something more. Intimacy without being heavy. You're painting a small picture, a scene that pulls her imagination toward you. Suddenly you're not just a guy texting. You're a thought she can't brush away. Why does it work so well? Because it's unexpected. Most men are stuck recycling the same sleep well lines that disappear before her head even hits the pillow. But this one is different. You're making her laugh while also planting yourself in a space usually reserved for closeness. Her bed, her pillow, her private little nighttime world. That contrast is powerful. It's cheeky without being creepy, and it lands right on the sweet spot where humor meets attraction. There's also psychology here. Women remember images. They remember the small, playful moments that trigger emotion. You're not begging for a spot in her life. You're sliding into her imagination like it was her idea. The pillow suddenly becomes a character, and now you're part of the bedtime story in her head. But let's keep it real. Some women will fire back with something funny, like, "My pillow doesn't get jealous," or, "Well, it should be." Others may just send a smiley. Doesn't matter. Both mean you already got what you wanted, her attention and her emotions. Men who play it too safe get forgotten. Men who push too far get blocked. But this kind of message, it sits right in the middle, harmless but memorable. And in dating, memorable wins every time. Use this when the vibe's already good. If you had a fun chat earlier, or she's laughing at your banter, that's your green light. Drop it. Then don't chase, let it sit. Let her replay it in her head when she puts the phone down. Sometimes silence works better than stacking more texts, because at the end of the day, women don't need endless words. They need sparks. And this little jealous pillow line, it's a spark that can turn into a slow burn all night long. Message 4. Good night. Let me know if I make a guest appearance in your dreams. This one is bold. Not in an aggressive way, but in that subtle, self-assured way women crave. You're not asking, "Will you dream about me?" That's weak. Instead, you're assuming it's possible and telling her to report back. That tiny shift changes the whole energy. You go from seeking attention to commanding it. When she reads it, her mind kicks into gear. She wonders, why would I dream about him? Then, irony at work. You've already made her think about you enough to possibly dream about you. That's how suggestion works. A single playful idea before bed becomes the story her subconscious runs with. Here's why it sticks. Women crave intrigue. They don't want predictable. They want something that makes them feel like they stumbled onto a man who's different. You're not safe, not boring, you're intriguing, and intrigue is addicting. Most men text like they're filing paperwork. Predictable, dull, forgettable. You're sending an experience, a scenario, a seed. And trust me, she won't get that from the 5 other guys sliding in her phone that night. Some guys worry, what if she doesn't respond? That's missing the point. The text isn't about getting an instant reply, it's about planting yourself in her thoughts. Even silence works in your favor here, because she still read it, she still pictured it, and she'll probably wake up remembering you. That's control most men never have. Use it when you already built a little tension. Maybe after a day where you teased her, or she gave signs she's enjoying your energy. Don't waste it randomly. It works best when it's the closer to an already good vibe. So remember, women love men who create curiosity. This text is pure curiosity, and curiosity, once triggered, keeps you in her head long after the conversation ends. Message 5. If you wake up smiling, you'll know who caused it. Now this one hits different. It's softer, but no less powerful. Instead of teasing her about dreams, you're staking a quiet claim on her morning. Think about that. You're not just saying good night, you're saying, tomorrow morning, I'll still be here in your thoughts. That's long-term impact wrapped in one playful line. Imagine her. She wakes up groggy, hair messy, reaching for her phone. She sees your text from last night, and suddenly she does smile. And in that moment, you win twice. Once at night, once in the morning. That's rare. The magic of this one is in its simplicity. You're not trying to be poetic, not over-explaining. You're saying just enough. And just enough is what makes it stick. Women don't want to be spoon-fed everything. They want space to fill in the blanks. And this text leaves the perfect blank space. It's also confident. You're not asking, I hope you wake up happy. You're saying, if you do, I'm the reason. Quiet ownership. That's attractive. That's masculine. And that's rare in a sea of needy texts. Use this when you want to show a slightly softer side without losing your edge. Perfect after a good date or after you've already sparked trust and fun. Don't use it day one, it'll feel hollow. But once the energy's built, it lands beautifully. And here's the kicker. Even if she doesn't reply, she'll still remember, because emotions last longer than words. And this one, it's designed to make her feel. Message 6. Good night. If you can't sleep, you know where to find me. This is the closer, the final boss of goodnight texts. Why? Because it blends two powerful things women want: safety and mystery. On the surface, it's comforting. You're offering yourself as a calm, steady presence. She knows she could reach out if she needed, but underneath, there's a subtle temptation. You know where to find me sparks curiosity. Find you where? How? Why does that sound so tempting? That dual meaning is what hooks her. Here's the psychology. People are drawn to what feels both safe and exciting. Most men lean too far one way. They're either boring and safe, or they're reckless and too forward. This text walks the middle. You're steady, but you're intriguing. That combo is magnetic. Now picture her. She's tossing and turning at night, can't sleep, maybe stressed. She sees your text again in her head. Suddenly, you're not just a guy she talks to. You're the man who feels like comfort and curiosity rolled into one. That's a rare place to be. The best part, it shows restraint. Most guys don't know when to stop. They'll keep texting until she gets annoyed. But this line, It closes the night cleanly, leaving her wanting more. That's real control. When to use it? After deeper talks, when the mood is already calm, maybe even slightly emotional. It's not for surface-level banter, it's for when you want to signal depth without being heavy. The result? She goes to bed knowing you're not just another number in her phone. You're someone she feels safe with, but also someone she's curious about. And that's the man who keeps her awake at night, wondering. Now, here's the truth most men never hear. Women don't remember long speeches. They don't replay generic sweet dreams or safe, boring texts. What they replay are moments, tiny sparks. The kind of words that make her stop scrolling, smirk, and think. And that's what these 6 messages do. Each one isn't just a text, it's an experience. A little seed in her mind that grows while she sleeps. You don't need to flood her phone. You don't need to beg for replies. All you need is one clean, confident message that shifts how she feels when she lays her head down. And feelings last longer than words. So remember, you're not competing with hundreds of men for her inbox. You're competing with yourself, the version of you who used to send boring texts. Leave that guy behind. Step into the man who sends messages worth remembering. If you want her thinking about you all night, use these wisely. Don't turn them into routines. Drop them when the vibe's right, then let silence work for you. Try one tonight and watch what happens. Drop in the comments which one you'll use first. Message 1, 4, or the closer, message 6. I read them all. And if you want me to make a video on what to say when she actually replies to these texts, comment follow-ups, and I'll do it. Hit subscribe right now if you're serious about learning how to stand out from every other man, because here we don't do basic, we do unforgettable. Be calm, be bold, be the man who makes her think. Good night.